Y'all, we are about to explore the biggest FAFO that you could possibly imagine. If you're in a blue state, sad news, you're not going to get the no tax on overtime and the no tax on tips because the blue governors there have decided they need your money and they're going to go ahead and block that federal benefit that all your peers in the whole nation in red states are going to go ahead and get. Enjoy this one, lefties. This is a hard one to explain. Let's get right into it. Of course, you can hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, I'm not going to bury the lead. You need to send this everywhere. Because for a party that is all about affordability and how bad Donald Trump's economy is for Americans, they sure are ready to rip the money right out of the hands of the underclass of what they call it. Guys, let's get right into it. I'm not even going to bury it. All right. As you can see here, this is from December 26, 2025. Hochul hasn't served up Trump's no tax on tips policy, ticking off New York restaurant workers. Now, this is very confusing for me. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments why this would be a thing. I need your engagement. Not only does it help the notifications to go out and other people to see the video and spread the message, but I'm very curious for my own curiosity. How is it possible that the organization, the DNC, the Democrats, the people in power in a city like New York City or a state like New York or Illinois for the state and Chicago for the city, how all about fighting those wealthy, corrupt, abusive millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires, how do they not raise the taxes on those people, but they prevent the taxes on the underclass or those that are serving those? Because you would think if it was all about the underclass or the serving class or the restaurant workers or the service industry, you would think that all those people who tend to vote Team Blue would want to get those tax benefits. But for some reason, they don't deserve them. Honest to God. Let's get into this because I don't know. You guys can tell me in the comments. Governor Kathy Hochul and the Democratic New York lawmakers haven't, as in have not, extended President Trump's no tax on tips policy to state income taxes, hitting bartenders and restaurant workers in the pocketbook, all while preaching affordability. That is an incredible sentence. I'm all for the affordability of the working class, of the working man, the working woman. By the way, keep the taxes on them that everyone else in the entire nation's getting because we like that money. Because we got to redistribute it for our own benefit. We'll tax you for your own good, as I said in our live stream last night. Y'all, this thing's going to crumble on them. And this is the biggest FAFO I've ever seen in my life. If you are voting blue in a blue state, enjoy the benefits of your labor. This is what you've done to yourselves. This is the most costly virtue signal you could possibly imagine, but at least you've got that virtue signal. Now, to anybody in the red side of the aisle in these blue states, honest to God, it sucks you're under this. I don't know if it's going to change in those blue states. There's a lot of great states. Just throwing that out there. The inaction galled Rion Gallagher, 30, a bartender at The Basket, an Irish pub in Midtown on Friday. Screw her, Gallagher said about Hochul. In fact, let's just play the clip. I want to play the clip really quickly, and then we'll hit some of the details. It's going to blow your mind how much money they actually get out of these tips that the state allows them to keep. It's wild. All right, let's get it.
That is just, it's disheartening, it's upsetting. I'm Zoe, I work at the Embassy Diner for 2 years. It's very disappointing. I was looking forward to that when the president was running, so it's a little disappointing. It's all my livelihood. Really, we live off of tips, so getting taxed on them and losing money is definitely a big hit, and it makes living a little bit more difficult. And now knowing that it can't happen in New York is a little frustrating. Frustrated? It's like losing money, so it's hard, especially when everything's so expensive in life right now, and you know, that's my livelihood, that's how I eat, that's how I feed myself and my family, so. Maybe a couple hundred, close, to like 1,000 possibly, depending on the hours put in also. My mother's been a waitress for 30-something years, and she took care of 5 kids waitressing. So now knowing, if we were to go back and we were younger again and she was leaving the taxes on tips, it would have really affected mine and my siblings' lives growing up. So it's very upsetting. We've been in the restaurant business our whole life, so this is just what we know as diners. My father owned diners, my mom's parents own diners. It's just, this is our family's business.
And that is incredible because, honest to God, that's a part of Americana that I hope never goes away. And these people literally, sweat, blood, and tears goes into these businesses. And the waitresses and the waiters that are in these businesses, $1,000 a month. And this is the underlying thing that I really want to hit in this video to make you fully on the level of what I'm trying to deliver here. It's about what people feel. It's not about what you say. It's about what people feel. They're not going to remember what you said. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And that is the takeaway of the video. If you want to make a very clear distinction between the Democrat policies and the far left policies of a New York or a Chicago, all you got to do is show them what they're doing right now with Trump's tax cuts that are going for the serving industry and also the no tax on overtime. And the Democrats are saying, yeah, no, we're going to keep that money because $8 tip, $3 goes to the server in New York. $3. Okay, let's keep on going. This is going to be huge, particularly in the hypocrisy of affordability from the left. Let's keep on going. Kathy Hochul, did I read that one already? Yeah, I read that one already, sorry. If we weren't taxed on our tips, we'd be able to save more, we'd enjoy life more, we'd maybe even be able to pick up that without picking up that extra shift. Yes, that's the point. The point is, all of these things are voter friendly, they are people friendly, but the virtue signaling leftists aren't doing it. There's only one person to blame for that, and that is the far lefties. I'm going to show you why in a second. The no tax on tips policies, along with a related deduction for overtime, was a key worker-friendly provision of Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill narrowly passed by Republicans this year. So the people who hate everybody, and Donald Trump who is evil and hates everybody, it's all about his own benefit. He cut taxes on tips and cut taxes on overtime, and then the Democrats, while calling him a monster for trying to do it and saying that he's giving a tax cut to all his millionaire and billionaire friends, when it's all about the worker-friendly positions, then they block the actual taxes that he got passed that they said was evil. These people are disgusting. Okay, let's keep on going. By the way, not everyday Democrats. I'm talking about the leaders of the party. Qualified service workers can now deduct up to $12,500 of tip income a year on their federal taxes, while hourly workers can do the same for the same amount of money of overtime pay. The break jumps $25,000 in both cases if filing as a married couple. Y'all, could you imagine what $25,000 would do to a couple or a married couple that was a server, both in the service industry? Y'all, that's life-changing stuff. Let's keep on going. But while many states either proactively or automatically match the cuts, several others held out against extending the deduction, including New York, to the dismay of service industry workers. This is where the FAFO part comes out. If you voted for the Mamdanis, if you voted for the Hochuls, if you're voting for the blue state machine, the virtue signal magic that is the blue state machine, this is what's happening. Even when the impossible happens and Donald Trump makes this happen through this bill, all of a sudden you still don't get it. Isn't it weird how either scenario you still get screwed and the one common denominator is the lefties at top in the blue states? I'm not even holding it back anymore. It's just fact. It's disgraceful people live off tips, of course. For Hochul to do that, it's disheartening. It's upsetting. Who takes home $3 on an $8 tip? Y'all, they get to keep 40% of a tip, maybe 35% of a tip. That is insane. It's like losing money. No, it is losing money. It's so hard, especially when everything is so expensive right now. Again, the affordability crap line that the Democrats are pushing, all of a sudden that doesn't matter anymore. Jackie Putri, a manager at McDade's Irish pub in Midtown for a couple of years and a server for 37, also had some choice words for state lawmakers. Quote, their hands are in everything, and finally they're doing some good, and they pass the bill, and now the state comes and screws you. It's like, what are we doing? Just leave it to Kathy Hochul to do that, said a Trump supporter. Thanks for nothing. It's absolutely true. I'm going to jump right to the end of the red here. She notably did not push to match Trump's tips and overtime deductions, despite State Senator George Borrello proposing bills to do so for New York taxpayers. New York politicians, or Pauls as they call them, balked at giving up more than $1 billion in revenue from tips and overtime, Reuters first reported. You know, y'all, we can sing it from the rooftops. We can scream it. I can lead a horse to water. You can lead a horse to water. We can tell you everything that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, these people don't tax millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires. All they do is they take the money of the entire underclass. That's what they do. The only way that it works is to tax the biggest bracket of people with the most amount of people, which is right there. That's it. You're getting an $8 gratuity, an $8 tip, and you get to take home 3 of it, and you're supposed to say, I feel good about that? And by the way, the president and Congress just passed the no tax on tips policy, and you're still getting screwed. You would have had an extra $5 per patron. Great job, lefties. Great job. Listen, guys, listen, they do it to themselves. I just report it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm Braden. See you later.